Let me ask you a question. What games were you playing before February of 2024? Was it anything new or exciting for you? For myself, it was the same few games I had been playing over the years. The same games that I had played 1,000 times at that point. And I kept playing them because there was really nothing else that really interested me. But then, on February 8th, 2024, Helldivers 2 would release and reinvigorate my gaming spirit as I knew it. Since that faithful day, I have been an aggressively loyal Helldiver.
Join the Helldivers. Become part of an elite peacekeeping force. See exotic new life forms. And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
When this game came out, it really did shock the entire gaming community. It was something that was actually new and exciting, and forming a community in this game was absolutely not hard whatsoever. The in-game lore brought players together, as we all thought it was cool to be a part of a galactic war fighting for the preservation of humanity. There is so much to love about this game, I honestly don't even know where to start. But before we do get started, be sure to like the video and please consider subscribing because I've got a lot of content coming your way in the near future. Thank you everybody so much who does so. The content in this game is almost overwhelming. The game has 216 planets on the entire galactic map. Currently, as of the time I'm recording this, you can deploy on 28 of them. There are 3 enemy factions split among these planets, which are the Terminids or bugs, the Automatons or bots, and the Illuminate or aliens. There are 9 shared mission objectives for all of the factions, but there are also enemy faction exclusive missions, including 10 for the Terminids, 11 for the Automatons, and 6 for the Illuminate. That's 36 total mission objectives in the game, and no 2 missions, even if they have the same objective, ever go exactly the same. You must plan your mission carefully, mainly what you decide to take on these missions, whether it be which weapons or stratagems would be best to help you deal with the enemies. It's a good thing there is quite a bit to choose from. There are 38 primary weapons in the game currently. That's right, I said primary weapons. That's not including the secondary or melee weapons you can use. Most of them are locked behind war bonds, but we'll talk about war bonds later. There are a total of 16 support weapon stratagems in the game, all of which give you a bit of increased firepower when fighting higher level enemies. There are also 8 different orbital stratagems, which is basically enhanced artillery fired from your destroyer that sits in orbit while you're accomplishing the mission. There are also 9 different eagle stratagems, which are basically airstrikes that you can call down as well. That's not even mentioning the different turrets, manned emplacements, vehicles, literal mech suits you can pilot, and so many more. In total, there are 72 different stratagems in the game separated into different categories. There are also 70 armor sets in the game, with over 30 unique effects and different color patterns. All of this to say, you can attack the enemy in hundreds of different ways, using different weapons, stratagems, and armor to do the job in the most efficient way possible. When you play a mission, there is a certain randomness that happens with the enemies. Sometimes you and your team may run up on an enemy patrol, and if you don't take them out fast enough, you have more enemies spawning in with them soon. This can make some missions very intense, especially on higher difficulties. Sometimes you can find yourself overrun right at the start of a mission. And while it does make the missions more intense, it also makes them much more fun. You can take out enemy camps and nests to essentially lower the difficulty of any current mission you're on. Less camps means less enemies, which obviously means you'll have an easier time completing the objective. The game is so cinematic without even trying. It's what I like to call beautiful chaos. It really does feel like you're fighting a large-scale battle every time you drop into a mission. There are explosions everywhere, lasers and rockets flying at you from every direction, giant swarms getting ever closer to you, and it's just you and 3 other Helldivers that have to deal with all of it, or fail the mission. Now, there is a bit of a trade-off with the amount of chaos going on in the missions and the engine the game was built on. Unfortunately, the game crashes sometimes because it's trying to process so much. And because of the game's engine, sometimes it is too much. In fact, it crashes more often than any other game I own. Still, it's about only once a day if it happens at all, and I've found that if you kill enemies faster, the game doesn't crash. The game is gorgeous to look at. There are planets with multiple different biomes and planetary effects that players must take into consideration before they drop into a mission. There are snow planets, forest planets, desert planets, jungle planets, wooded planets, and so many more. Any planet you play on, it looks incredible, especially if you play a nighttime mission on the planet. Oh yeah, every planet also has a day and night cycle. I used the term beautiful chaos earlier, and this is what I mean. When you have 5 or 10 explosions happening at once, lighting up the night sky with lasers and grenades flying and exploding, it actually is a true thing of beauty to see the bright lights of everything in the middle of the night. Helldivers 2 is a great game, but it has never been a perfect one. Like I mentioned before, it had some in-game problems, but it also had many real-world problems as well, including, but not limited to, region bans and weapon nerfs for no reason since this is a PvE game. Arrowhead Studios, the development studio for Helldivers 2, has a philosophy about developing their game that can be summarized in one quote. And that quote is as follows, quote, "A game for everyone is a game for no one," end quote. They said this after their decisions to nerf certain weapons because the game felt too easy to beat even on the hardest difficulties. It is an interesting sentiment, because while you believe a game for everyone is a game for no one, you know who else I know the game is for? Everyone! The philosophy ultimately makes no sense to me because when you create a game, you want as many people as possible to be playing it. Why would you go out of your way to make the experience less enjoyable by taking away the stuff we love the most? Now don't get me wrong, I don't want to play a game based around a galactic war and feel like I'm fighting weak sauce enemies all the time. But the solution to that problem is to create stronger enemies or craft more difficult missions, not nerf the things that we love. But honestly, despite all of this, at this point in time, I believe Helldivers 2 has done everything to redeem itself. It has become a game that everyone can enjoy again. I think they heard their community and took them seriously, because they've rebuffed everything they had once nerfed. Maybe not to the strength that they were before, but they did get buffed again. Not only this, they created new and more challenging enemies to face within the game, so no one feels too strong and not helplessly weak either. The game receives pretty regular updates, with either new war bonds getting released or a narrative beat within the game, or both. War bonds are basically equipment bundles that you can buy using the premium currency in the game called super credits. Now, each war bond costs around $10 worth of super credits. And honestly, it's pretty good value for what you can receive sometimes. But here's the cool thing, you don't actually have to spend any money on the game if you don't want to. You can farm super credits by just playing the game, and there are plenty of videos on YouTube that go more into detail about this than I will in this video. However, seeing as how you can grind out the super credits just shows you how cool the developers of this game are and are not trying super hard to get into your wallet. So when you can, I would recommend showing some support and buying a war bond every now and then. It is a live service game after all, and they need to pay their employees, and the super credits aren't that expensive to begin with. War bonds are sometimes released alongside a significant pivotal moment within the narrative of the game. See, the game doesn't actually have a set campaign. It's technically the whole game being the campaign. Everything that we as players do or don't do is considered canon within the Helldivers 2 story. And there are new major orders released every few days so players never lose a sense of direction when they're playing. I think the developers have done a fantastic job with the narrative of this game so far. From the defeat of Malevelon Creek to its eventual liberation, the complete annihilation of Meridia, the return of the Illuminate, and the invasion of Super-Earth. And the players were a part of all of it. The story only keeps developing in real time, and it only gets better as time goes on. Helldivers 2 has set a new standard on how a live service game should be developed. From the constant, almost daily updates, to the ability to grind out the premium currency, to the microtransactions actually being micro, and the incredible ongoing story that keeps the players excited and engaged. It's absolutely amazing what they have accomplished here. Helldivers 2 deserves all the praise and admiration it has received. Why do I refer to this game as Game of the Decade? Well, simply, for the last decade, there is not a single game that has kept me so consistently interested and felt so fun to play. When I play this game, I feel like a kid again. It really does bring out this childlike happiness within my cynical heart. If you haven't given Helldivers 2 a try, I cannot recommend it enough. This game is truly generational. Thank you so much everyone who made it to the end of the video. I will try to be posting much more often, but it's tough finding time to make videos because it's literally just me doing it. Like, I have to record and edit and everything like that. It takes a lot of time. The best way you can support me without outright giving me money is by hitting the like button. And also, please consider subscribing. With all that being said, I will see all of you in the next video. Later!